The control geom function allows the operator to change a geometry or an object within the playback device. So to set this up, we're going to drag a group down into the scene tree. Then I'm going to go back into my server, into my objects. So I'm just going to drag this one object down here, and I'm just going to go back into my built-ins, into my control folder, and drag this control geom down onto my object. And once I do that, you can see that it automatically added this control object function on the topmost group. So I'm going to click on my control geom function to go into the editor. First thing that we have is the field identifier. Since this is our first control object within the scene, it's set to 1. I'm going to leave that at 1. We also have a description here. It picked up the container name too, so we can change this to whatever we want. If we want to call this object change or whatever name you want to call it, you can. And there's also a button here for deny browsing upwards, so that will limit to folders that they can look through. So I'm just going to leave this off for now. You can always hit refresh, and when we do that, it inputs this geometry's number into this little window. So I'm just going to save this scene, and we'll just navigate to the folder where we want to save it. I'm going to call this object scene. I'll click OK, and now we want to go into Trio. So once we're in Trio, I'm going to import this scene by coming to the Import Scenes menu here. I want to navigate to where I saved that particular scene that we were using. And here I have my scene, so I'm just going to click and drag this into this window here, or I could highlight it and also hit import that way. Now once it's imported, I'm just going to double click it, and down here in the tab fields you can see that we have this object change. So in the upper right window now we have options here to navigate through folders, and as I navigate through folders we can see that there are some objects in some of these folders. So if I wanted to replace my object, I just double click on any object within my folders up here in the editing window, and that will replace the objects. So here we can come through this folder and use different objects here to be able to change out that 3D object that we set up in Viz Artist.